Hey, Scorpio Star. Ugh. Doing good, doing good. Got the house to myself right now, and I'm just enjoying the day, really. So, no, of course. I feel like I need to move the font lower, but whatever. Sure, yeah. I'm not really excited for the new Conjuring movie that's coming out, to be honest, because the director is, in my opinion, kind of mid. I mean, James Wan was the one that made those movies great. Insidious 1, The Conjuring 1 and 2, and the rest of them, um, just mid. I think Annabelle Creation was good as far as fan fiction, but the rest of the movies though, they're not that great. So no one can really make a conclusive ending, really. I think it's something that directors fear because they have the pressure of like, okay, I gotta make this a climactic conclusion right here, you know? Like the swan song for the series, you know? And a lot of them just turn that down. I don't know. I'm not a director, so I've only directed one video. That's it. And it got it did really good. Anyway, um ghost stories, guys. Ghost stories. If you have a story you'd like to share, click the guest button down below. Would love to have you on. And it is being screen recorded, so if you're okay with your story being on YouTube, come on up. Oh, thank you for the follow, KK. So, but yes, ghost stories. If anyone wants to kick this off, feel free to. Yeah. I need to bring that font down. Pink Winter, be a guest. Would love to have you on. I do not type your stories out in the comments, guys. I won't read them. Fritcher, Scorpio Star. The reason why I won't read them is because I have a lot of activity going on my end. And thank you for the follow, George. And it's hard to keep up. So anyway, if anyone has a story they would like to share, click the guest button down below. Would love to have you on. Cool. It's okay, Pink Winter. You don't have to. No one's forcing you to. This is a safe space, so whatever you feel is valid. Okay? So, no worries if you can't. If you guys want to hear one of my stories, just let me know. I've told them a million times to my usual viewers, so. Also, another thing I do is ghost story narrations. So you want to hear for sure, Pink Winter. I do ghost story narrations. So if you have a story you'd like me to narrate, just DM it to me, and I'll make a whole TikTok video about it, and it'll be on Instagram. I'll ask to tag you or even collaborate with you, and it'll be on YouTube. With that being said, I will tell one of my stories. So, I was in the U.S. Navy, and this took place around late 2015, going on 2016. And it's during that time of year where everyone's going out to visit their families. So basically leaving a skeleton crew on the ship. I was on board the USS Bonhomme Richard, LHD-6. And it was my duty day. I was lucky enough with my job to be picked to help out in the officer ward, to help out the cooks in the officer ward, also maintain the officers' bedrooms and stuff. There's only so many. Thank you, Emily Rose. There's only so many officers on board compared to enlisted. So this was like a huge like light workload right here compared to working in the enlisted deck. So it's my duty day. Once again, it's a skeleton crew on board. There's barely anyone there, and the only people that are in the officer ward are those that are on duty that night. So it is my duty day. I go in and I relieve the guy that was on duty the night before. He gave me the master key card to every officer room on the ship. And he's like, have fun, bro. So there's no Marines on board, and there's no Marine officers on board. So I go into the Marine executive officer's bedroom, and it's a hotel room compared to what us enlisted slept in. I'm thinking, yeah, it's still early in the morning. I'm tired. I'm going to lay down. So I'm laying down, and I start hearing what sounds like chatter in the hallways. So I'm thinking, nobody should be here. It sounds like two people going over plans. So I'm like, okay, I put my gear back on, and I figure, you know what? I'll just tell them, hey, you guys can't be here. Carry on. So I go inspect the hallways, and it was empty. I did a couple of rounds. There's nobody there. I'm thinking, okay, all right, they probably just left. So I go back into the bedroom. I start hearing that same chatter again, but this time it sounds closer. It sounds like it's coming from the room right next to me, which is the Marine commanding officer's bedroom. Now, just for reference, a commanding officer is the person that reports to basically the highest rank in the military, which is right below the President of the United States. So if I'm caught in this bedroom, my career's over. So I go into the bedroom, and it is pitch black. There's nobody there. All right. So I go back into the bedroom, and I lay down, and I'm trying to make sense out of this. I'm thinking, you know what? It's probably traveling through the vents. The voices are probably traveling through the vents from below decks, and it's probably a conversation going on down there. Makes sense. Now, I'm not a clairvoyant. I'm not a clairaudient. I don't see or hear anything on the other side of the veil. Thank you, Scorpio Star. I hear this voice right next to my ear, directly next to my ear. And it says these words: 2 little girls. Now, I need everyone in the comments to tell me if they have seen The Grudge or The Ring. Elvis, I'll get to you. Don't type out your story in the comments. I will get to you. I will bring you in as a guest. But yes, how many of you have seen The Grudge or The Ring? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. At the foot of the bed were 2 twin girls, both resembling Samara from The Ring. They had really messy, tangly hair in front of their faces. I couldn't see them. They both had unalived, cracked, bluish gray skin. And they were both wearing maroon-colored dresses. Can't believe what I'm seeing. I blinked. Next thing you know, they're chest level to me. And at the same time, they both start choking me. Keep in mind, I'm not asleep. This is not sleep paralysis. I'm very conscious. I see what's going on in front of me. I'm being choked, and I'm paralyzed with fear. Then I muster up just enough energy just to yell out, "Leave me alone!" The next moment, they're gone. I'm thinking, okay, gotta make sense out of this. It's probably just a nightmare. Probably it's just a nightmare, yeah. I put my head back down, and not even a second later, that same voice from earlier said my name. I got up, put my gear back on, and I left that room in a hurry. Yep. That is the only time in my life I've ever seen something that was not meant to see on our side of the veil. Only time in my life. And because of incidents like those and others I do have, I'm very positive there's definitely something out there. So, but yeah. All right. That's my story, guys. So, up next, we have Ironhide and Fear Encounters. Thank you, Ironhide. All right. Mindy, be a guest. Ironhide, you are on mute.
Yeah, I just muted out of respect.
Not for sure. Thank you. Quick question. How old are you?
40.
Perfect. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Yeah, you can Google search it if need be.
Okay. Try not to cuss like FDFF. It's okay to swear here and there, and it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it's preachy. That being said, it's all you.
Right on. Well, how many of y'all out there have seen the movie The Exorcist? If you look up Erling, Iowa, Exorcist, or exorcism, I guess. Can we say that word on here? I don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so if you look up that church, if you will, that it was a 4-stage exorcism, and part of that exorcism had was basis for the mainstream media movie. But I had a friend whose uncle was a groundskeeper and maintenance man for the parishes around those small farm towns. And after the exorcism was completed, the room that it was done off of the corner of the altar, was walled in. The room was sealed off indefinitely. But my buddy's uncle would talk about how every now and then the doorway itself would have to be repainted because handprints would push through from the inside of the wall.
Oh, wow. Interesting. You're on mute.
No, yeah, you're good. And then I myself, having the quote unquote night terrors or whatever they're called, where you got that feeling, that heavy feeling of something on you, holding you down. Your eyes are open, you're awake, but you just can't quite catch your breath or move.
Yeah.
Had that quite a bit myself as a child, but while I was in high school, I was at a lady friend's house, or a gal friend, however you want to say it.
Okay.
But we were all hanging out front, and I just happened to look from the deck. You could see it was a straight shot up the stairs, the second level. I happened to just look up the stairs, and I seen an old lady with white hair in like a nightgown, like I guess more like a muumuu, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, you got an older relative upstairs, or when did she move in? And they're like, there's nobody upstairs. And then so the mom, she got freaked out, so she did some research, and she ended up finding a picture of the woman that I had seen. That it was several decades before they had purchased the home. But the old lady was passed away, and I got a quick glimpse of the old lady that used to live in the home at the top of the stairs in her nightgown.
Okay. Nice.
But that's my spooky stories.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. And yeah, if you ever want to come back here again, just you know what to do. Thank you so much, Iron.
Right on. Have a blessed night.
You too. All right. Mindy, I love that. Yeah, Elvis, there's a guest button on the below of the screen. You'll see it's an outline of two people. One is blue, one is pinkish red. Click that button and it should send me a guest request. Thank you for sharing the live. I appreciate you, King Julian. All right. Okay, Elvis, I see you there. Cool. All right, Fearful Encounters, you're next. Mindy, I see you. Mindy Weller, I see you. Rambo, I see you. Taylor Made, I see you. Tak Sunny, I see you. Fearful Encounters, you are next. Hello there.
Hello.
Thank you for being here. Have you been here before?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if I shared my ghost story on here before or not, but I love sharing it out there because it's what made me a true investigator.
No, for sure, yeah. Well, you already know the rules, man. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Definitely.
Perfect. All right, carry on.
Sweet. So I guess I could take it back to 2020. Me and my partner, we live in East Tennessee, and we were kind of looking for something to do. It was around December time, and we came across this ad, and it was a tour of a haunted hospital. And I was like, I really wasn't a big, believer in the paranormal then.
Yeah.
And I was like, this seems cool. And he was all excited about it. So we went to it, and this gentleman purchased the hospital out, and it's been shut down since the late 90s. And ghost tours have been put in it ever since. Mm-hmm. So we go there. Obviously nothing happened. But I fell in love with the building itself, like the history, the vibe of the building, and he was needing some work done. So I was like, well, I can help tear down some walls and mow and all that stuff. So I was like, can I work here on the weekends? And he's like, oh, definitely. Sure. Yeah. Come back out next weekend. You can start. Well, I think it's like my third month in, and I learned all the history and all the ghost stories of the place. Still had nothing happen to me. Like, to me, it was a massive hospital then. It's 68,000 square feet. And when you're alone in that hospital, it is definitely creepy. I ain't going to lie. So, given a ghost tour, we let guests rent out the building from 6 p.m. to 4 a.m. Well, at 4 a.m., we let the guests go home, and we have to make a walkthrough to make sure doors and windows are shut, make sure our cameras are working, because we got it very secured in there because we don't want nobody to break in and all that.
Yeah.
Well, it's like probably 4:30. I got my bags, I have my stuff, and of course, I'm the only one in the building. And I'm about to go downstairs, and we have one little power area, and we have some radios out there, and it's the only power in the building. So as soon as I'm walking down the stairs, all the radios up there start just going static noises, making some weird noises. And I stop in my place, and I'm like, well, okay, well, that's kind of creepy. And then so I start talking, like, hello, it's weird for me to talk because I was still new at the time to this. And on the third floor, it sounded like a gurney was rolling. And that's the thing of the hospital. People heard gurneys rolling on the third floor when nobody was there. So I heard it all the way down from the other end of the building, and it rolled like it went right over my head.
Wow.
So, of course, I had to go up there to check it out and make sure nobody broke in the hospital. Still, I was getting a little creeped out at this point. And then what set it off was I was walking downstairs, kind of we tell our spirits bye every night. And I got to the front door, and I get to the hallway there. There's a hallway down to my left by the front door. And in the corner of my eye, when I looked, I saw a guy, and he was barefoot, wearing light blue jeans. I saw his stomach. I could see the hair on his stomach. But from his chest up was pitch black. So I dropped everything and I screamed because, one, I thought somebody broke into the hospital. And I'm a big guy, but that scared the hell out of me.
I bet.
So I'm running back upstairs, trying to pull up the cameras. I'm trying to call my boss and being like, yo, there's somebody in here. And he starts laughing. And the way I described the person, he goes, go downstairs and take a look at the photos down there. And I was like, no. He goes, no, trust me, go do it. So we had a caretaker that lived in the building before it was ghost tours. And he passed away down there, unfortunately. And his name was Jim. And there was a picture of Jim wearing almost like the same blue jeans I saw. And he was shirtless. And it almost like it was just a match of what I saw and then what was in that picture. And so after that, I started experiencing more and more. But now I've been there for 5 years, almost 6 years now. And I love every minute of it. And, started my own paranormal team. And we travel around and do all this stuff. But, I went in as not believing it. But the hospital did change my ways.
For sure, man. Well, thank you for sharing, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Keep it up.
Yeah, will do. Take care. All right. If you guys love this, click the follow button and keep tapping that screen. I love that. And also share this if you're entertained. Share this to someone that's also into the paranormal. All right, Rambo, you are next.
Hey, how are you?
Doing good. How are you, man?
Good. It seems like sometimes the live will stop, so forgive me if I don't know what it is, if it's my connection or yours, but anyway, so I have a story about when I was a kid.
Real quick. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Being on what?
On YouTube?
Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. All right, man. Good to have you. Come on.
Okay. So when I was a kid, I was probably 6.5, and I have an older brother who's 4 years older than me, and my parents, we upgraded our house. We moved from one town to a nicer town, and so we moved in this big house, and what do you call it? So I'll never forget it. My parents opened up the door. They're like, "Oh, go choose your room." So I was like, "Cool." So I went upstairs, picked my room, and so we started the process of moving in. And the room I selected was in a rectangular hallway. Every edge of the hallway had one room, and so my room actually was on the opposite end of the master bedroom where my parents would be. and and directly across from my room was a closet. It was like a linen closet. So it was like August when we moved in, and it was sunny, and and like school was starting in a couple of weeks. So we all, time went on, like a couple of weeks went by, and it was like it was the night before we started school, so everybody was excited. My brother was excited, I was excited, and so I usually slept with. I was a little kid, so my mom always like kept my door open to the hallway. So, and my bed was directly on the opposite side of the room of the door. So when the door was open, I could see my parents' door, and also the linen closet door. So it's like 9. It's 9 o'clock, and she's like, "Okay, time for bed." So I go to bed, and my brother goes to bed, and so the whole process happens. All the lights are going out. My mom's like just doing stuff in the kitchen, and I'm in bed. I'm just sitting there, like trying to fall asleep. I'm just so excited about going to school, meeting new people, new friends and stuff. So I don't know what happened, what woke me up, but it must have been probably like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in bed. I got the covers up to like my chin, and so I open up my eyes, and there's no lights, just like the moonlight, and coming through the windows, but it's bright enough where I could see, you could see like like a blue glowish light in the hallway and in my room. So I open up my eyes and I look across the hallway, and I see my mom putting like towels away and like linens away. I'm like, oh, I was like, she's obviously did laundry and she's just putting stuff away. And so then I think nothing of it. But I do remember that I was like, why is she wearing that stupid little hat? Like it looked like a maid's hat, almost, like the.
Made
like an old-fashioned maid's hat. And then I was like, then I looked down and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm like, why does she have that whole stupid outfit on? She looks like like an old maid. And so I go back to bed, think nothing of it. So morning comes, and I run out, I get ready for school, my brother gets ready for school, we run down into the kitchen, and the routine was like, my brother had like, we always had like cereal. My favorite cereal was like Frosted Flakes. His was like Cookie Crisp. So we're eating breakfast, and my mom wanted to drive us to school so she could take like pictures and stuff. So I was like, all right. So we ate our breakfast, and finally we're on our way out. We grab our bags, and so I pick up my bag, and I was like, hey mom, I was like, what were you doing last night? I was like, and why were you wearing that ridiculous outfit? And she's like, what are you talking about? I was like, you were putting stuff away in the closet last night, and I saw you, and you're wearing like this like weird bonnet, and you had like this big puffy maid dress. And she's like, I went to bed at like 9:30. I never got up. And I was like, holy cow, I couldn't believe it. So I was like, oh god. So from that night on, I had a nightlight. But nothing ever happened after that. But it was like as clear as day. I could see, a lady there putting stuff away, which was pretty freaky.
No,
and that's my story.
Thank you for being here, dude. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's valid, man. All right. Well, if you have any other stories for the future, you know what to do, man.
All right.
Take care.
All right. Take care.
All right. All right. Yeah, good story. Okay. The queue is empty, guys, so if you guys want to jump on in, now's the time to do it. And once again, I do ghost story narrations. So if you have a story you'd like me to narrate, just DM it to me. I make a whole TikTok video about it, and I post it on, obviously, TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram. I'll tag you on Instagram, or you can go remain as anonymous. But yeah, I do that. So, and this is all being screen recorded. So It will be on YouTube. Jacob, yes. Click the guest button down below. That should send me a guest request. You'll see the outline of two people. One is blue and the other is red, pinkish. Hey, honeybee, good to see you. But yeah, if you guys like what you see, if you guys like this, click the follow button and share this too to other paranormal fanatics. So, okay, there we go. Jacob Keller, I see you. Thank you for the follow, Dante. Hello there.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Try talking a little bit closer.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. Do you have a microphone on, or is it on speaker?
I've really never done a live before, so
Okay. Well, you're fine. All right. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube? Thank you, honeybee.
yeah.
Perfect. How old are you?
I am 34.
Perfect. Try not to cuss like FDFF. It's okay to swear here and there, and it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it is preachy. That being said, it is all you. Honeybee, it's so good to see you.
Alrighty. Well, it's really actually a short one, and it
That's okay.
was very kind of short. So, my parents' house is a old American Legion.
Mm-hmm.
So, one night I was just getting out of bed, and I came to the stairway, and there was a soldier coming up the stairs, basically,
Mm-hmm.
full uniform and everything. And then he turned the corner and just disappeared into a wall.
Oh, just disappeared, huh?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that happens. All right. Is that your story?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I haven't really had much else in encounters.
No, it's all good. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming up, and thank you for contributing to the life. I appreciate you.
No problem. Have a good night.
You too, Jacob. All right. Perfect. Yeah. All right, guys. Yeah. This is a lot of viewers for. It's been a while. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Our max we had tonight was like 112, but yeah, no, it's been a while since I've seen those numbers. But yeah. Thank you, guys. And Scorpio Star, you are up, and I love your profile picture.
Hello, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm good. All right, I'm gonna tell a story I already told before, but I'm
Okay.
sure people, like you said, there's new people on here, right?
All the time.
All right, so this happened to my dad and my two aunts and my mom. They lived in a place in Long Beach. They lived in a haunted house, and they all definitely said it was haunted. And funny thing is, my dad happens to be a medium, but he didn't see anything because he was always partaking in adult beverages. So, yeah, he was always passed out on the couch. So he didn't know what was going on, but they would say there was a lot of things. So there was a number to a priest in the broom closet, and there was also a tuxedo in the broom closet. That's creepy enough. My aunt's fiance's brother ran out of the house screaming the devil was under the table. And at night you would hear people walking up and down the stairs and knocking on each other. Like, they would think that somebody was knocking on their door. Like, you know, they were like, oh, did you just knock on the door? And it was like, there was nobody there. And my aunt had a blue cross that she got from her communion, and she said it fell off the wall and broke into a million pieces. And they said it was just like really creepy there. Like, yeah, they definitely said it was haunted. They all swore to it. But that's creepy. A tuxedo in the broom closet and the number to a priest, that's creepy. It's like makes you wonder what was going on there.
Right.
But they ended up getting evicted because they were having too many people there and stuff. My dad said like they were always having parties and stuff. But yeah, they definitely all swore that place was haunted. But yeah, just wanted to share that story real quick. I don't know.
If you-
And real quick, another one real quick. He
Go
said
for
he
it.
saw, the guy before said he saw a soldier. That's really interesting. So I think I seen a soldier twice, 2 separate times. So when we went to Puerto Rico, we were in San Juan, and we went to the El San Juan, the hotel. I swore I seen a soldier standing on the steps of that hotel, like just standing there staring at me. And I was like, okay. And then when I was in Saratoga, I was working the night shift, and I had gotten home, and I had just fell asleep. I was sleeping, but I was awake. I can't explain it. You know, like when you're starting to fall asleep, but you're like, you dream, but you're not like completely asleep. I can't
Bender.
explain it.
Bender. Yep.
Yeah, it happens to me a lot. So there was a man knocking at the door, and I went to the door, and I'm like, yes, may I help you? And it was a soldier, and there was all like, it was cloudiness behind him, and he's like, I'm lost. Can you please help me find my way? I'm looking for my friend. I was like, well, I'm not really too familiar. Hold on, let me go get my dad. And I turned around, and I went back to the door. And it was like, it was just a bright sunny day. And I jumped up and I freaked out. And I was like, called my dad on the phone, and his friend picked up. He's like, what's wrong? Why do you keep calling? He's driving. Like, we're on the way to work. I'm like, is he okay? He's like, yeah, he's fine. I was like, oh, thank God. Just make him call me back. Like, it was so creepy. It felt so real. But yeah, those are my stories.
No, for sure. Yeah. Well, thank you. Of course.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, how are you? Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm alright. I miss my midnight. I want to get another black cat, but I'm torn right now. Like, I want another one, but then I'm like, no, I don't want no more. Because, you know, the pain you feel when you lose them, you know?
Yeah. No, of course.
Yeah, but otherwise, I'm alright. And you?
Well, I'm doing better today. I mean, today's viewership's just skyrocketed out of nowhere, so
Oh, they're going to keep doing that. Don't worry.
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for
All right,
being
thank
here,
you. Thank you for letting me be here. Thank
though.
you.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Chomer, what's wrong with you, dude? All right. Took care of that. Will Buck, you are up. Yeah, no kidding, Honeybee. Hello there.
What's going on?
Hey, thank you for being here. How old are you?
47.
Perfect. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Yeah, that's cool.
Perfect. All right, man. Try not to cuss like FDFF. It's okay to swear here and there, and it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it is preachy. That being said, it is all you, Will.
Okay. Well, I'm from Oklahoma, and I was driving through the town called Seminole,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it was like evening, but it wasn't dark,
Mhm.
and I drove by this hospital, and it kind of it didn't register at first, and I was like, is that an old Indian man walking down the road? And then so I turned around, and it was, but he had on the hospital gown,
Oh.
and so I got out and I pulled over and I got out and I opened the door for him, and then I took him home, and then he walked up to the door, and then he didn't have anything on him. He didn't have any of his belongings on him. And then, but he said that they kicked him out. And so I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
So he didn't have his keys. So I popped the door open for him, and he walked in. And then so I left. And then it hit me, because in our culture, like the older men, they always shake hands, or like they'll I don't know, some kind of touch with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to, and it's like I don't remember him ever shaking hands with me. And I was like, did this dude die?
Yeah.
And I picked him up because, and I was thinking, I was like, well, I opened the door for him to get in, and then I took him home, and then I opened the door for him to get out, and then I had to open the door for him for his house. And I was like, man, because he didn't shake hands with me or anything. And I was like, man, I don't know, like, I think he could have died at the hospital, and he was still wearing that hospital gown.
Probably. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
And I have another one.
Go for it. Yeah. Hey, there is no time limit. Carry on. Go as long as you need to, man.
Oh, okay.
No rush.
And before that, though, a few years before that, that hospital was new, and my roommate was getting a divorce, and so he needed a place to live, and I was like, okay, well let's get a place then, and then so I went to look, and I found a house over there, and you know how like they'll take you like to the worst house they got first, so that everything else after that looks good.
Yeah.
And then I took the first house, and so I was in the kitchen. There was linoleum flooring, and there were like, I guess somebody had spilled some red paint or something on it, and so I kept trying to clean that, and it wouldn't come clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then, well, we would have lunch together. That was about the time throughout the day that we could get together,
Yeah.
because we both went to school and then we both worked, but we worked at different places, and so we'd always eat lunch together. And then so I would walk in sometimes, and he would be like, Buck, is that you? And I'd be like, yeah, man. And he said, okay, because every once in a while, like he would hear somebody. I was only just me and him that would always there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he would hear people walk in, and he would be like, Buck, is that you? And he said he would never hear anything. And then, but there was like wooden floor. It was an old house, so it had wooden floors. So I mean, you could hear when somebody's walking through.
Yeah.
And so I mean, he would be in his room, and so I'd walk in, and then we go eat or whatever, eat lunch, and then. But when we finally moved out of that house, we ran into somebody that they knew about that house, and they said, "Oh, y'all live there?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then so he was like, he knew of some stories that he had heard about the place, and he said that it was a old drug dealer that lived there. And something went wrong, and he got shot and killed in the kitchen.
Wow.
And I was trying to clean that up, and that wasn't paint, that was blood. That was his blood I was trying to clean up.
Wow. Shoot.
Yeah.
That is nuts. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, thank you, Will. I appreciate you, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you have any more stories, Well,
I'm a comedian, and there was having a show in Norman. You've heard of Norman, Oklahoma?
yeah.
That's where OU is.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, they was having a show at the train station, and I wasn't on it, but it was my homies, and so I was trying to go see. I was trying to go support them.
Yeah.
And I wasn't feeling good, so I went, and I wanted to go, but I didn't want to, to get anybody sick. So I went to the clinic and got checked out and everything, make sure that I was good, that I wasn't contagious. And so they cleared me. And then so I got up there to the show, and somebody didn't make it. One of the other comedians didn't make it.
Oh.
And so they was like, "Hey, you gonna go up? You gonna go up?" And they kept asking me, and I was like, "I don't know, man." I was like, "I don't feel good." And then so they kept saying, "You gonna go up?" And then I was like, "All right, man, shoot, I'll do it." And so I went up there, and I was telling a story about telling a ghost story. And so I was like, I said honka, and that's in Creek and Seminole language, that's ghost or monster or something like that.
Yeah.
And then so I seen like a shadow out of the corner of my eye while I was telling the story, and I said honka, and I pointed at it, and then after that, like my I couldn't remember anything. I just like my whole mind just like went to black instantly. And I was looking at my producer. I couldn't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at the host. I couldn't remember her name. And I was like, what the crap? Because I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah.
It's like, what the crap, man? And after that, though, because I looked at the host and I was just like pointing at the mic. I was like, come get this thing. And then so she got me down. Now afterwards, our cameraman, he's like, what happened, man? And I was like, shoot, I don't know. And then he told me that once I went blank, and like, I guess, you know, that you could tell when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that on the video, like it jumped because he was recording it.
Yeah.
And then the audio skipped when that happened. And I was like, man. So I don't know if it was the medicine that I was taking or if it was the ghost that got me or the combination or what. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I quit taking that medicine, but yeah. I was like, I don't know, man. And then the guy that the cameraman, he does a ghost story thing, and he says that they always like pray before and pray after, and you know, make sure that nothing, they don't take anything with them.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, we see that a lot, but never at a comedy show, you know. It's like, golly, but yeah, that's
For sure, man. I appreciate you, Will. Thank you for being here.
yeah.
All right. Take care.
Appreciate it. All right, you too.
Thank you, Will. All right. Those naps. Not with the electric disturbance. Maybe the meds contributed, but used to. Probably, honeybee. Yeah. Jody Field, you are next. Hey, Jody.
Hi.
All right, thank you for being here. I know you're over 18, but I still need to ask, how old are you? Jody? Oh, 58. Okay. And are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
I got a story.
Jody, are you okay? Okay. All right, Jody. I'm gonna move along, okay? Thank you for being here, though. I appreciate you. All right, guys. The queue is empty. Once again, if you like this, consider giving me a follow. And tap the screen if you really like this, and share it with some friends that are into the paranormal. Once again, I do ghost stories, so if you have a story that you want me to narrate, just DM it to me, and I will make a TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram video about it. And of course, I will tag you. But if you choose to remain anonymous, that is valid and that is okay. Now, once again, the queue is empty. This is your time to come on up and tell a story. It is spooky season, so let's celebrate. Yeah. And let me know if you guys want to hear one of my stories again. So. Empress Sky, come on up. Don't type. That's another thing. Don't type your stories out in the comments, everybody. I'm not gonna read them. Just a lot happens on my end, and it's just I can't see everything. I would love to tell a story, but I don't know how to get up on your live. Peggy, let me try inviting you. There's a button on the bottom, and it'll say guests or guest. It's on the bottom of the screen, and it's two outlines of two people. One is blue and one is red pinkish. Click it and it should send me a guest request. But in the meantime, I will tell a story. Empress Sky, don't type out your story there. Don't type out your story here. I'm not going to read it. Alright. Let's see, which one? I'm going to talk about the first time I accidentally astral projected. So, this happened in Japan. I was stationed out there when I was in the US Navy. And at this time, despite me being a Roman Catholic at the time, I would actually talk to some of my pagan friends on ways to astral project. I've done a lot of research on YouTube on how to do it, but I can never do it. I would try doing those techniques, but it wouldn't work. So I tried asking them for help. Hey, what do I do? They've told me some ways, but they still didn't work for me. So one night, I'm frustrated, and I'm thinking, I need to get up early for work tomorrow, and I don't have time to be playing with this stuff right now. So, I put my head down, and a few moments later, after I closed my eyes, I felt myself float outside of my body. I feel myself floating. My eyes are still closed, but I'm very much aware of what's going on. I'm thinking, oh my God, finally, this is it. This is it. About time. God. And as I kept floating, I made it a thing to go to the front door. I didn't make it far at all. I just make it to my bedroom's front door, and I'm excited to see what I'm about to see. I open my eyes, and not even like a moment later, a giant shadow hand grabbed me and threw me right back in my body. From a third person point of view, I saw my body twitching left and right. Then I looked to the left. Finally, I merged back with my body. And I see a box TV, an old box TV in my room. Like something from the 80s. And there's no box TV in my room, for one. On the right of it, there was a shadow figure sitting next to it. He's wearing a suit. His arms are crossed. And he was just looking at me. Not in a aggressive manner. not in a harmful manner, but more like, you are so lucky that I am here. You are not ready to be out there. A few moments later, the experience ended and I woke up. Me thinking, dude, oh my god, I could finally do this. Yeah, you know? For the life of me, I can't even recreate that experience. I've tried so many times in the past, even like here and there within this year, within current months, current weeks, you can say. And I just cannot get it down. Requiem for a Dream and that TV. Yeah. So that's the first time I ever astral projected, and it was on accident. Black masses took place. Oh, okay, MK. Sam, so on the bottom of the screen, you will see a button that says guest or guests. And for the button, you'll see a silhouette of two people. An outline of two people. And it is blue and there we go. Sam, welcome. Hello there.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for being here. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Yeah, that's fine.
Perfect. And I know you're over 18, but as per guidelines, I need to ask, how old are you?
53.
Thank you so much. Try not to cuss like FDFF. It's okay to swear here and there. And it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it is preachy. That being said, it is all you, and thank you so much for being here, Sam.
Yeah. So I used to live in New Hampshire. We lived on a lake. And one evening, we had a very eventful day, very kind of stressful, and I was exhausted by about 7 o'clock at night. And my husband was in the kitchen, and I was laying on the couch watching TV, and I kind of fell asleep because we had a hard day, and excuse me. And I fell asleep for what seemed like 10 minutes, but my husband said it was about an hour. But I fell asleep, and when my husband woke me up, it was time to go to bed. He tapped me on the shoulder, and I opened my eyes, and I look, and there's a man standing right at the end of the couch, and I remember exactly what he had on. He had a white t-shirt on, blue jeans, and he had kind of shoulder-length brown curly hair. And he was just standing there. He was about 6'3", and he was just staring at me. And he didn't have any expression, just staring at me, staring down at me. And I'd just come out of kind of a deep sleep because, like I said, I was exhausted. But my husband didn't see him. Come to find out later, my husband didn't see him. But when I opened my eyes and the TV was on, I looked at the TV. Then I looked up at him, staring down at me. Then I looked back at the TV. I kind of, rubbed my eyes a little bit, looked back up, and that guy is still standing there at the end of the couch staring at me. And then he turns around, does a 180, and walks right through the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, and come to find out, so my husband, I woke, I said, you are not going to believe what just happened. And I said, you didn't see him? And he said, absolutely not. He's not much of a believer, but my whole life I've been a believer. This is the only experience I've kind of had, and, it just solidifies my curiosity. But come to find out that about 2 weeks prior, there was a man who drowned in the lake we lived on. He was in a boat with friends, and he was a little bit inebriated, and he decided, with his pockets full of beer to weigh him down, he decided he was going to swim to the other side of the lake. Mm-hmm. And that didn't work out well for him. I do remember hearing, seeing ambulances and stuff, but I didn't really know the extent. But he was the one who drowned, and a few people I asked in the area what he looked like, and they described this guy to a T. So I don't know if he's just trying to look for his friends. I don't know if he, used to live. I don't know what the circumstances were. I didn't recognize him at all when I saw him, but he totally did a 180 and walked right. He put his head down before he walked through the wall, and I thought, it probably is irrelevant, but it was kind of interesting. It's like they don't see partitions, I guess. I don't know, but it was pretty scary. I also have another small little story, but it involves my father. Actually, I have two stories, and I don't know if you need to break them up. I don't know how you handle that because it's on YouTube, but
There is no there's no time limit. You take as much time as you need, all right? And thank you so
Okay.
much again for being here.
okay. So the second story I have, I'll talk about the one that involves my father as the third story, but the second story I have is I used to play soccer at an international level, and we were in Italy for a soccer tournament. This was going back to, I would say, 1995, around that area. So we were in Italy in a soccer tournament, and we, of course, you're a huge team with all the parents. You're looking at maybe 30, 35 people. So, of course, we were trying to find housing in Italy for cheap. So we actually had a couple of Italian girls on our soccer team whose parents spoke Italian. They had connections in Italy. So we ended up scoring a convent. So in where the nuns stayed, they had a couple of empty classrooms and stuff. So we all had little, pool blow up mattresses and bring a little, so we really saved money on hotels and stuff like that. And we stayed in this convent. So get into the story. It was probably, there was about maybe 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night. And me and three other girls, there was four of us in the room. The other ones kind of dispersed out. Somewhere there was 10 people in one room and four of us in a smaller room. So it was about 11 o'clock at night, and it was 4 beds, and we were on the second floor, and there was no balcony, nothing. And everybody's quiet, the lights are off, it's pitch black. And I kind of was falling asleep. I was in between, not asleep yet, but not totally awake. I heard a ringing in my ear, and it wasn't like a telephone. It was kind of like a hum ring combined. And it started getting louder, and I was still kind of asleep at this point. In between that, I don't know what you would call that, that when you're not fully asleep, but you're not fully awake either.
Yeah.
So I was in that, and I heard a ringing in my ear, and it kept getting progressively louder and louder and louder. And then when I opened my eyes, I looked down, and I was probably about 1.5 feet off the bed, staring down at the back of my head. And at my face, my face was sideways, so I could see the right side of my face. And I just saw my hair, and I kind of freaked out. I had no idea what was happening. I grabbed the side of the bed, and I guess I went back in. I don't know how that happened, but I said, I got up, I turned the light on. I said to the 3 other girls, I said, you are not going to believe what just happened. And one of the girls who was sleeping on the other side of the room, she asked me if 1 minute before that, if I had walked across the window, because there was a little bit of light coming through the window, if I had walked across the window to go to the bathroom. And I said, no, I did not. I said I was almost asleep. And she said she saw a shadow go from my bed across the window to the bathroom. And again, we're 2 stories up. No balcony, just a window. This is in Italy, so it's it was kind of rustic. But we were staying in an old convent. The history of Italy. I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
centuries old. Everything is centuries old, and I just that's kind of another experience I had. But I mean, if you're anywhere in Italy, there's just so much history there, and it's. I mean, everything is just historic, and I think it's haunted. I mean,
yeah, 100%. That place is old.
Yeah. So, but the last story I have is my father, who, when you know people who they'll never lie a day in their life. They'll tell you the truth constantly. This is my father. So he's about 75. This happened about 2 years ago. He was admitted into the hospital. His lungs were filling up with fluid. He was on water pills. Long story short, he's got diabetes, so he's got a few complications.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the hospital. He couldn't breathe when he was at home really well, so he took himself to the hospital. And he said, and I wasn't there because we're far apart. He told me the story that they were trying to, he was in the hospital for maybe an hour before he somewhat flatlined. They were trying to resuscitate him and bring him back. His lungs were full of water, which put pressure on his heart, and his heart just kind of stopped. But he said, my father said, and for about 45 minutes, he was standing on the side of his bed. He's flatlined, so he's in the hospital bed, but he remembers standing on the side of the bed looking at the people, the nurses, the doctors. They're trying to get a needle in. They're trying to resuscitate him. They're trying to, everything that they do medically to try and bring people back from a flat line.
Yeah.
And he said he was standing there for 45 minutes. Of course, during this, he doesn't know. He has no concept of time. But when he was brought back, he told the nurses and the doctors the story. He says, I was standing there telling you guys I'm okay. I'm here. Why are you freaking out? Why are you moving me like that? I'm right here. Everything's okay. So it's true when they say you don't realize, I guess you don't realize you're dead. Your soul, your spirit is there, and you don't know why people are freaking out. But he said he looked down and he saw his body just limp and just laying there, and they couldn't find a vein to put a needle in. And he said when he went back in for whatever, he didn't see a light, because I asked him, very curious. I said, did you see a light? Were there other spirits around, that you could communicate? He said nothing. All he saw was his body, the nurses, the doctors. And when he went back into his body, he said then they brought him back. And when he was okay, he said, now that nurse, you with the pink shirt on, or you with the green shirt, whatever, he specifically said, you couldn't get the needle in my arm for about 10 minutes. And he was giving them specifics and this doctor here, the tall, skinny one, he was on top of me, giving me CPR. And this doctor, the one with the gray hair, he was, on the side, ready to do whatever. My father knew exact specifics of what these medical staff were doing, and they were just flabbergasted by the detail, because they confirmed that he was right. And he says, by the way, how long was I, and they said 45 minutes. Now, if if you're dead, your brain doesn't get oxygen but of course they were breathing into him to get oxygen. But if you're dead for, what do they say, 6 minutes or something, that you're, there's no coming back. But 45 minutes that they told him that they were trying to resuscitate him. And my father's not one to fabricate stories. And of course, when you're older, your story fabrication becomes less, because you're more serious about things. But he's never lied in his life. And he told me this story, and a little tidbit too is that he was an atheist before this.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm an absolute believer now. He goes, I don't know if I would have died. I don't know where I would have went. And he didn't have the best childhood. So he said, I hope, I don't go south. I hope I go north. He says, but he was an atheist before this. He used to tell me when I was a kid, there's no God. And I always believed that there's a supreme being, a higher something. you know, Jesus and God and all that stuff. But he didn't believe in it, but now he's a believer. And every 3 conversations that he and I have, one of the conversations he brings it up. He's like, you know, that happened to me and I'm a believer. And so it's affected him. And, you know, I'm a believer that there's an afterlife. And I'm, you know, glad you have this channel and people can talk about their stories and stuff. Because I've told a couple of people my stories and they weren't really interested and they didn't really believe. But there's people out there who really believe, and I'm thankful for that. But, yeah, that Italy one was pretty crazy. That my soccer teammate asked me, did you just, right before that, did you just walk across the window to go to the bathroom? I said no. So there was some kind of a spirit.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully it was nice. It was trying to lure me out, and it kind of successfully did. And I looked down, and I was about 1.5 feet to 2 feet off, and I was looking at my back of my head. I was looking at my hair, and I freaked out. It freaked me out, and I grabbed the side of the bed, and I guess I went back in. I said, you know, not today, Satan. You know, and then when she said, did you walk? I said, no, everybody was asleep. So she saw a figure walk across the window, and it was in a convent. And, you know, I mean, there's going to be some crazy stuff there. But, yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to Italy, if you're interested in that stuff, I mean, there's lots to check out.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, but those are my stories. It started out with one, but then I remembered 2 others, but yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you for being here. Thank you so much for contributing to the live. If you'd like, I'd love to narrate one of those stories, or even all of them if you like. Yeah, you know, you'd have to type it out you have to direct message me about by typing it out and everything. I know it's a lot, but like, if you'd like me to narrate all of them, just let me know and just type out a script for me, and I'll make a TikTok video about it, YouTube video about it, and Instagram. No, I don't charge. I just do this because I love doing this. So
yeah, sure. I've never done that before. So just message you. Is that what it is? Just message you.
Just type it out to me. That's it. You don't have to send me no email, nothing like that. No, just send it to me in my TikTok inbox, you know, like you message everyone else, like sending memes or something, you know.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, yours were really interesting, and I really liked them. So
yeah,
it's okay to say no
it.
too. It's okay to say no. I get it. It's a lot to type out, but yeah.
No, it's fine. Yep, no problem. Well, have a good evening. Thanks for listening.
No problem. Thank you for being here. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
All right. Okay. Damn, we're at 91. That is crazy. Thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Haven't seen those numbers in a very long time. So, all the love, guys. Thank you so freaking much. Yeah, once again, if you like this, thank you, Robin. I appreciate you. Give me a follow. Give me a follow and stay up to date every time I go live, guys. My schedule is Tuesdays to Fridays, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. And yeah, thank you guys again. Once again, the guest box is empty, so if you'd like to share one of your stories, click the guest button down below. It is an outline of 2 people, a blue and a pink, reddish, purple person. Click that button and it should send me a guest request. Or if you guys want to hear one of mine, just let me know in the comments. Thank you guys again. 115, that's the max we've got. Wow. Wow. All right. 123. Linda, you are up. Almost there. Hey, Linda.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right, thank you. It's my first time entering your live.
Oh, well, welcome. Thank you for being here. I know you're over 18, but how old are you?
Yes. I'm 47.
Thank you. No, thank you for bearing with me. A lot of people have a problem telling their age.
Oh, no, that's fine. I'm cool with that.
For sure. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Oh, yeah. I have
Okay.
no problem with that.
All right.
I actually, a few years back, I posted one of them on, I made my own like little YouTube thing, channel but I can't find the channel anymore. And I don't know with what email address it's connected to, and I cannot get into it. But anywho,
All right.
this story that I'm going to tell you,
Real quick, Linda.
I've actually got,
Real
I've
quick.
got a whole bunch, but I'm going to at least do 2.
Real quick, Linda. Are you okay with your story being on? Excuse me. Did you hear the rules already earlier?
No, was there?
Yeah. Just try not to. Excuse me. Try not to cuss like FDFF. It's okay to swear here and there. And it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it's preachy. That being said, it is all you.
That's cool. I'm not religious.
Sure.
I'm spiritual, so
Same.
just letting you know. But anyhow, so one where I used to work, my former coworker bought a brand new Honda Accord,
Mhm.
a very nice little sportsy one. It's pretty, and so me, him, and a few other of our coworkers, we always have this yearly thing that we go to the beach together. It's a short drive. I mean, we're here in Austin and everything, and we usually go to Port Aransas. And so that day I went with him. His name is Alfie, because he's like, we can, take my new car and who knows what. Okay, cool, brand new car. And on our way over there, on the drive, I noticed that because when they're brand new, they always come with like a free trial of satellite radio and stuff like that. And he was listening to his own little station on the radio that he likes. It's a talk station. But I noticed that every time, like after a certain moment, the channels his radio would change to satellite radio. And he was starting to get mad with it. Like, what the, like, why is it doing this? I'm like, I don't know, Alfred, but I don't know. But it would always go to like a specific channel. And, he'd be between the satellite radio and his car radio. He kept flipping it back and forth, back and forth. So it got to the point where I just told him, I said, look, I think your car is possessed, dude, because you keep switching it back and forth. And no, it's not. It's brand new, Linda. Ha ha ha. He would laugh about it. Okay. Like literally, after our trip to Port Aransas, he was rear-ended like 6 different times.
Ooh.
Then somebody went and side-slammed his car. Then after he had all those repairs done to this brand new car, his motor all of a sudden just gave out on him. So Honda, they have this warranty over it. They promised him, we're going to get you a brand new motor, stuff like that. You're going to have a brand new car with 0 miles. I mean, he literally took the car off the lot, like, again, like brand new. And so he wasn't going to fight that. He's like, I'm getting a brand new motor, Linda. And who knows what? I'm like, well, it's a brand new car. They better, But anyhow, so like I said, okay, we do trauma calls for hospitals at night. Anything, code reds, code blues, stuff like that. Our room where we worked in had like sound barrier around our office, because we're literally watching like 17 different monitors. And whenever we get a code blue, it sounds real loud overhead, and we have to, whatever trauma, even if it's ambulance or helicopter coming into the hospital, we're the ones that's paging all the trauma teams. So and down the hall from us, well, actually on the other side of the building, we have security. So one of the security girls, the leader, she calls me up and she's like, Linda. I'm like, yeah. She's like, is Alfie out by his car? I said, no, he's right here with me. There's a rule that you can't, there's always got to be at least 2 people in that room together. I'm like, he's right here with me. Why? She goes, well, there's, how on the cameras, like when it censors somebody, like a little blue square comes around the person, of what it's censoring. She goes, well, there's somebody being censored by his car. but it's sort of weird because it's just like a figure of a black shadow, and I don't see feet underneath the car.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's like, you know what? She goes, I'm going to take my laptop over there and I'm going to show you. And so on her way, when she was on her way over, I turned and I looked at Alfred. I said, I told you your car is possessed, dude. You didn't believe me. This is after he had gotten his car back, after all the accidents and stuff like that. He's like, no. I said, yeah, Paula's right now on her way over with her laptop to show you. And she already sent Eddie out to go and check the car. But to show you that there's something by your car, and she's monitoring this. So when she came and, you know, she had her laptop open and everything, and the security that went out to look at her car had already came back up to our window, our back door. We let him in, and we're all standing around the laptop, and you literally see somebody by his car, just standing there. I clipped a picture of it. I have it in my TikTok profile. It's pinned out the top.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it literally looks like somebody by his car. So after that, I don't know if he still has it. I think he does, but because he ended up eventually getting a better job. He does some type of travel job, so he's not in his car as much as he usually is. He's always on planes. So
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was pretty awesome. And then the last story I'm going to tell you. So my mom is from Illinois, and the southern region of Illinois. And there's a house that I've always loved. I've always felt attracted to this house. I've always wanted this house. It's a very old house. I think it was built in like 1886 or something like that. Or 1864. But I've always dreamt of this house. Like literally feel like I've got some type of a connection to it. So when my realtor up in Illinois called me to tell me that this house is going to go on auction, I flew up there because I wanted to go try bid on the house. You know, I was overbidded by $2,000, but when I went up to Illinois, she called the realtor that was actually going to put the house up on the market if it doesn't sell at the reserve price that the owner wanted to at least get it sold for.
Mm-hmm.
And that realtor told me, you know, I'm fixing to go take pictures over there. Do you want to go with me? I'm going to be there about 9 a.m. I'm like, yeah, definitely. So where my homes are is literally like an hour to 2 hours from where that home is. So when we got there, we come walking through the front door. She's taking, of course, her pictures outside and stuff. But as we're standing out there, I just feel like I need to go inside. So when we start going through the house on the first level, I'm walking around and I start to like breathe real heavy, and like my stomach started to hurt, like my abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, holding on to it. And she's like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, why don't you just have a seat? Because it was a little partially furnished. It had some furniture in it. I'm like, no, I'm fine. Let's keep going. I just feel, I just want to, I literally felt like I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
Like a sudden feel of depression.
Mm-hmm.
And she's over here snapping pictures all over. I'm looking at how the woodwork was done so beautifully, how the floors were so pretty. I mean, so anyhow, we're standing at the top of the basement, and she's snapping pictures and stuff like that. By the time she's done, I go my way, she goes hers, and like seconds later, she's calls me. Well, not seconds, but minutes later, when she finally got to her destination, she calls me up and she says, I want to show you something. She goes, can I send you the pictures that I took? I said, yeah, go ahead and send them my way. Mm-hmm. She goes, but I want you to pay attention, particularly to when we're about to head down to the basement, the picture that I took.
Yeah.
That picture at the very bottom of the basement, it looks like there's a woman that's pregnant holding her belly.
Oh.
It's also on my profile. It's like I put it at the very last. You have to scroll through all of the house to see it. But I so wanted to cry when I was looking through those pictures. I felt like, oh my God. And I still dream of that house. I sometimes feel like maybe I'm haunting the house. And the reason why is because this last dream that I had not that long ago, I'm coming in that house. I'm walking around, I'm looking around, and then I go up to where the restroom's at, and as I'm opening the restroom, there's this little guy in the bear claw tub taking a bath, and he looks over at me when I open the door, and he yells, "You again, and he's yelling the F word at me, out of my house. This is my house, out of my house." And he hurries up and he gets up and he's wrapping a towel around him, just yelling at me. And he slams the door in my face.
Ooh.
And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's just so damn, I'm sorry. It's so detailed. It's just weird. But anyhow, the pictures are in my profile. I'm going to stay on with y'all just listening to y'all stories because I like this stuff. But yeah.
No,
feel free
sure.
to go through my profile to see the pics. Okay?
For sure, yeah. Well, thank you for being here, Linda. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Y'all have a good night.
Same night. Good night. All right. Up next, we have Dark Endeavors. This might be the last one for the night, guys. So, Dark Endeavors, you are up next. Hello there.
Yes. Hi.
Thank you for being here. How old are you?
30.
Perfect. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Yes, I'm fine with that.
Cool. And have you heard the rules already?
Yeah, just not like a bunch of religion. Now, I'm not religious.
Excuse me.
It does, but mine does have like just a tad of religious undertone, but just because it's in the world. Just to kind of, you know what I mean?
Excuse me. Okay.
Huh?
You're not listening to me, dude. All
Oh,
right?
sorry.
You're good. Yeah, it's okay. Like, it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it's preachy. And try not to cuss like FEFF. It's okay to swear here and there.
Okay.
That being said, carry on.
Okay, this is The Vagrant, and it was written by me.
Excuse me. Wait. Is this a true story or is it something you wrote?
This is something I've written.
So it's fiction?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. All right. So, not looking for fake stories, guys. Excuse me. Jeez. All right. Up next, we have Ray. Hello, Ray.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you for being here. How old are you?
I'm 19.
Perfect. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Yeah, that's cool.
Perfect. Try not to cuss like FVFF. It's okay to swear here and there. And it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it's preachy. That being said, it is all you. Carry on.
All right. So this happened about a year ago or so. I think it was last October.
Mm-hmm.
I was camping at my local state park. I live in the Pacific Northwest. If anyone knows what this was, I would much appreciate that because I've never seen anything like this. I've been seeing like ghosts my whole life, like since I was a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, this one was extra freaky because it was seen with another person.
Oh.
So I was standing on the porch with my friend and I let out a puff of smoke and I noticed that it was staying there for a really long time. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then I noticed that it was like forming into the shape of a person. And it was just a white smoke silhouette and me and my friend and I were standing on the porch, and there's about a 3-foot drop off to the ground, and it was standing or floating, I guess, just a little bit above us. Mm-hmm. So it would have had to been like, oh my God, I don't know, 7 feet tall. Mm-hmm. And I thought I was hallucinating at first. So I asked my friend to turn on the porch light. And she was looking at the same spot that I was. It was only like a foot or two away from us off the porch.
Oh.
And I said, hey, can you turn on the porch light? And she's like giggling. And then she stops and like her face drops. And then she looks at me. And then we just both kind of silently realize that we see the same thing. So, and we both look away for just a split second, and then it's gone. And she said that when we both like looked at each other and looked back at it for the last time, she said that she saw it lean closer to us.
Oh. Wow.
And then the next night we had to sleep in a tent.
Oh, okay.
So that was fun. Nothing else happened, but it was freaky.
No, for sure. All right, Ray. Well, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you. Since considering you have a catalog of experiences, if you have a story you'd like me to narrate, just DM it to me. I would love to narrate one of your stories. Yeah, I make a TikTok video, YouTube, and Instagram video.
Yeah, I got a good one for you.
For sure, yeah. And of course, I'll tag you in it. But if you wish to remain anonymous, that is completely valid and okay. So.
Okay.
All right, Ray. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for letting me out.
Of course. Take care.
Yeah.
All right. Chi, you are up next. Hello there. Hello there.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great. Thank you for being here. How old are you?
36.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. Try not to cuss like FDF. Excuse me. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Oh, yes, of course. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm totally okay with it.
Good. Try not to cuss like FDFF. It's okay to swear here and there, and it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it's preachy. That being said, it is all you. Carry on.
So I actually have kind of an opposite story. I know you wanted a ghost story, but I feel like I was primed to experience like a ghost, and it didn't happen. Here, I'll tell you the story.
Yeah, go for it.
So I lived at 66 Roseland Avenue, apartment 666. And it was an apartment, but it was a refurbished funeral home.
Oh.
And the owner, he still owned the building. He moved the funeral home down maybe 200 feet, and just the next building down. But he still parked the hearse underneath our building. So we were a ex-funeral home with the hearse parked underneath us, and we were 66 Roseland Avenue, apartment 6. And I never experienced a ghost. And I was so desperate to find one, man. It just breaks my heart. I feel like that was prime. I don't know. When you chum the waters for fish, you chum the waters for fish and all the fish come running to you. I felt like that was chumming the water for ghosts. And we didn't get no ghosts. I never had an experience. Nothing ever weird happened. And it breaks my heart. That's all I have to say.
Be careful what you wish for, bro. But I appreciate you being up
I
here.
already lived at 66 Roseland Avenue, apartment 6, with a funeral home and a hearse parked, believe me. And I wanted it to happen. And it never happened. I've already asked for the worst,
Oh my God.
I've already been begging for it in the worst of situations, and it never occurred. So to me, it's kind of doesn't exist. Unless you want it to exist, in your brain. Whatever.
For sure, man.
All right, that's my story.
Take care.
You have a great live.
You too. Oh, thank you.
No.
I know, Dustin. All right, we have about 20 minutes left of the live, guys. And once again, if you like this live, hit the follow button and stay up to date when I go live. My schedule is Tuesdays to Fridays, 7 p.m. Pacific time to 9 p.m. And yeah, catch me during those times. Give me a follow. And once again, if you have a story you'd like me to narrate, just DM it to me and I will post it on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, of course, and I'll tag you in it unless you'd rather remain anonymous. Try saying all that in one breath. ADHD. Anyway, don't type out your story in the comments. Please be a guest. I'm not going to be able to read it. Anyway, the queue is empty, guys. If you want to be a guest. Oh, yeah, absolutely. You can say what city it happened in. Yeah, of course. But yeah, the queue is empty. If you want to be a guest, click the guest button down below. It says guests. And it's an outline of two people. One's a blue and one's a magenta, red, purplish color. Click on that button and it should send me a guest request. But if you guys want to hear one of my stories, let me know in the comments. Oh, Ethan, hey, I see you. Chris, you are up.
Dwayne.
Hello there. Thank you for being here. How old are you?
Hey, actually, I am about to turn 43 right now. Next month, actually. So I might as well say I'm 43.
No, for sure. Thank you for being here. Are you okay with your story being on YouTube?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Try not to cuss like F-ity FF. It's okay to have, it's okay to swear here and there. And try not to, it's okay to have religion in your story, but not to a point to where it's preachy. That being said.
Okay, no, I got you. I hear you. Okay, so my name is Chris. I am Native American. I am Navajo. Born and raised in Arizona and New Mexico. So just to preface, like this story that I'm about to say or tell, it's pretty much not about a ghost per se, but it's more about skinwalkers.
Oh, that's welcome. Carry on.
So that being said, me being full-blooded Navajo, born and raised, like I grew up with dirt floors, no running water, you know, going to like, you know, just ceremonies, etc., blah, blah, blah. But this particular story is going to be based in Utah.
Okay.
So in high school, me and my really good friend, I'm going to call her Sarah. So her and I, we just had such a connection. She was Native American too as well. Her dad was in the military. He just retired, and they moved back from San Diego back to the reservation. And so her and I, we connected. She had such a great aura. She had such great energy where you were just naturally drawn to her. And so that being said, we built such a great friendship where I was literally spending the night at her place. She was vice versa, you know, just our families knew each other. And so one day she told me, she was like, hey, my family's going to be having a ceremony and do you want to go? And I was just like, yeah, I grew up traditional. I'm not, you know, I'm spiritual, but like very like Navajo, like culture-wise, traditional, I should say. I appreciate every, you know, religion, you know, and I respect it. So, but that being said, I was kind of hesitant because I did ask her, how long is this ceremony going to be? And she said it's going to be 3 days, but we're going at the end of the ceremony. It's been going on right now, and it's for her Shemasana, which is grandma in Navajo. Okay. So we went, and I said, okay. I asked my mom and my dad, and they're very traditional. Grew up, they know. So they were like, yeah, that's fine. Go ahead. So I ended up going. We ended up going to Utah. It's like a southern part of Utah. Very beautiful place. Just canyons, the river, just pretty much like Moab. If you could just, think like visually, like just, close your eyes and just think of that type of canyon vibe. And so that being said, we went out, and her grandma has such a beautiful homestead. It's like one little house and a hogan, which is our Navajo traditional dwelling, and sheep corrals and the river. You could see the canyons with the Anasazi up daytime. It's such a beautiful, just a beautiful, beautiful, location just to live. And so we went there. We pulled up probably around evening time, dusk. And next thing you know, we go inside. I met the family before, so they, we're just, talking. They're just like, okay, so right now we're getting ready to go into the Hogan, and do you want to go? But if you want to go, you have to be prepared for about what you're going to see. Oh. And I was like, kind of hesitant, and I was like, okay. So Grandma was already in the Hogan, and I was like, oh my God, what do I do? What do I do? And I talked to my best friend, and I was just like, she was like, yeah, I feel like she knew my dad and my mom and how traditional they were. And they were like, their thoughts and their prayers are always going to be around you. So if you want to go, so be it. But if not, I completely understand. So I said, you know what? Mom and dad are going to be behind me. Their prayers and thoughts, their good energy, everything is good. So I said, okay, I'm going to go. So whenever you walk into a Hogan, our Hogan is always face the east, because that's where good energy rises. That's where the sun rises, So we walk in, but normally, if you're not family, what is the word I'm looking for? If you're not immediate family, you sit on the left. But if you're immediate family, you sit on the right. But every time you walk into a dwelling, like a traditional dwelling within my culture, you always walk to the left, walk around the fire, shake everybody's hand, good blessings, good energy, this and that, whatever.
Yeah.
So I sat to the left only because I'm not immediate family. So then my best friend, she sat to the right of me, right by the entrance of the Hogan. So just imagine like a mudden hut. I don't want to say a hut because I feel like I'm being disrespectful to, but I want to say just like a lodge. Mm-hmm. And so we walk in, the fire's going. It's very, very, very just, it's very spiritual. Like, whenever you walk into any place of just, a church or a mosque, etc., just that where you just had to be very just respectful. So we go in there and we just sat down, and considering the fact that it's actually a dwelling, we go in there and there was a fire. It was very, very lit, low, and the person who the medicine man, the Hatatli, was singing over, was sitting directly in front of you. When you walk in, he is sitting. Actually, for this moment, it was actually a woman. So she was sitting right in front, and to the right, that was where the patient was. And she was sitting in a very, 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 just, you could see just like the sand painting. She was sitting on top of it. And the sand painting represents just taking all that negative energy out. So, and then walking into the left where I was sitting, that's where all the, normally it's like a Hatatli. That's where all the singers are sitting to the left. And so, anyway, so it starts going. It's like 11:10, and they're singing. And so then we start smoking, but it's mountain smoke. And so it's supposed to just, I have to get like a better description of the smoke. It's not weed. It's not supposed to get you high. It's not supposed to get you, you know what I mean? Like just that type of feeling. It's more ceremonial and very just more, how can I explain it? It's just more, it's not to be abused, I should say, if y'all understand. So it continues on. And mind you, these ceremonies last for several days and hours. And these are songs and chants that have been sung by, my Chays, my Nalis, everybody, like Hatatlis that have just known it. And these are like 12-day ceremonies. I think the Yebiche is like 12 days, I want to say. But, so they're going. And next thing you know, I hear the dogs barking. Well, everybody hears the dogs barking. The sheepdogs. Because grandma had the patient, which is my best friend, she's a patient. So she's sitting down, and I hear like dogs just barking. And I was like, oh my God, like what is going on? And I'm literally sitting like, there's one person sitting to my right, and I'm sitting right beside him, and the door right there, it's not really door, it's a rug covering the door. So next thing you know, just imagine a little, like a fire going up into like just a chimney hole where, and they're singing, chanting, singing. And next you know, all I hear is whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And then next you know, that's when they start singing more. Wow. And they say, don't acknowledge it. Don't acknowledge it. And me, I'm over here all scared at AF. And next thing you know, you hear something just kind of like in our native tongue, laugh and make a mockery of the ceremony. Like you could hear it in like, I don't want to repeat it in like, just like Navajo language. And so next you know, you hear something kind of just like a horse galloping. Like, just like, clack, 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 clack. And next you know, it's on top of the Hogan, it's boom. And I freaking damn ran to my best friend. I didn't give a damn. Something from the top of the chimney hit the fire. I ran to my best friend. I said, hey, what the F is going on? Well, at that moment, she already knew. I didn't even have to express it like in words. So her and I, but the medicine man, the Hatatli, she was still singing. Kept going. Yeah. Kept going. And then finally, it just felt like calmness. So then, I'm not sure if y'all know about, like, you know, the propane, the Coleman, the Coleman where you have to pump it to turn it on, I guess. So we turned that on. Well, they turned it on just to get it back. But it honestly smelled like it was such a horrible smell. So when they actually look at it, it's I want to say maybe like a ruler size, 12-inch, just like a normal general, like a 12-inch, I want to say.
Yeah.
It's wrapped up in deer skin.
Got it.
And so next thing you know, they unwrap it, and it smells so bad. And I'm just sitting there like, can I leave? And they're like, no, you don't want to leave. Just pray. Just like, don't, whatever. And so next thing you know, they start unwrapping it. And that was part of the healing process in regards to just I don't want to say chant, but like just the healing, the songs and everything. But it was a Yenagloshi. It was a skinwalker that came up. It was 2 of them that showed up.
Okay.
2 of them showed up.
Wow.
And so it was wrapped up with like I said, I think it was like buckskin. Like I know there was like owl feathers. The owl feathers in my culture is very like a bad omen.
I've heard.
So that being said, when they looked at it and they started dissecting it, I guess in a sense, it was a femur of a corpse.
Oh. Interesting.
And it had like drawings of grandma. It had like stick figures of like, you know, I don't know, not really saying like this is so, but it primarily was directed at grandma only because they wanted that land, they wanted the sheep, they wanted, you know, just that, like, I don't want to say like homestead, because I don't think that, my mom always told me that you never own land, you know.
Yeah.
So I think they just wanted that property, I guess, if that's what you want to say. And there was bundles of hair, and that's why they always say, do not ever clip your toenails at night, your fingernails. Don't ever cut your hair at night. Don't ever hang your clothes outside at night, because that's when the Yenagloshis, the skinwalkers, come out and they'll do it. And I'm just like, okay. So that was so crazy. The one thing that at first they got me that stuck in my head was just seeing it. Like, it literally was thrown from the top of the chimney. And when I say chimney, it has to, like, it was open, and you could just hear, like, it was beautiful. Like, that place is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And literally someone had to just forcibly, they just like, bam, throw it down. And I was just like, oh my God, that is crazy. They had, what do you call it? Old English 40 bottles wrapped up with like coins and hair in there. I guess that was supposed to make you go into alcoholism. Well, or that's what I was told. So, but yeah, that was my little Yenagloshi skinwalker story, I guess. Just wanted to share.
I appreciate you, Chris. Yeah, 2 skinwalkers. That's wow. How does it feel to actually like knowing to have experienced that now in retrospect?
I don't want to say like in retrospect, because I've always appreciated just growing up on the reservation, and I've experienced more, especially when my sister just got married, and we had a ceremony for her too as well. And that was another interesting, but that was in another part of the reservation too as well. It's something that I don't want to say appreciate, but it's just something that I know that is real because of our issues and our, how we, the Navajo didn't like what we were taught. And but yes, it's such a beautiful land. It's a beautiful culture. It's a beautiful, just people in general. So aside from the skinwalkers.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. This is like kind of interesting. Like the fact that I actually had to, because that I just, that's cool. Thank you so much, and I am definitely subscribing.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. Yeah, thank you so much once again, and yeah, tell others about the page too if you'd like, that are all into the paranormal. It's not just ghost stories. It's cryptids. It's UFO experiences as well. Like anything under the unexplainable umbrella, really. But Chris, you're always welcome here. Always, always, always. And let me give you a follow. Boom. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. Be safe.
Good night, Chris.
All right, bye.
All right, everybody. Yes, we have reached the end of the live. Actually, on the dot. But Chris, thank you so much. Everyone that came up, thank you so much. And Ethan, I love you, brother. I had to give you a shout out. Guys, follow Fleemo. He is an amazing music artist. It's Fleem with the 0 and underscore. Follow that guy. He's an awesome bro, man. He's like a brother to me. I call him my brother because he is my brother, Anyway, so, yes. So I always conclude with these 2 messages. The first message is, if you're going through a mental health crisis, please contact the number 988. The reason why I talk about this is because when I first started doing lives, I actually had someone follow my Instagram account, and they decided they needed to call me. And she was ready to unalive herself. She's still with us, thankfully. But I had to tell her, look, I'm not professionally equipped to handle something like this. Call this number. These guys can give you resources, and they're professionals. They know what to do. But yeah, the cool thing about this guy is I've contacted them during low points in my life, and they are the sweetest people you will ever talk to. They're not there to label you. They're not there to diagnose you. No, they're just there to hear you out. Their job is to make sure that you make it through the night. And the cool thing is that it doesn't always have to be such an extreme situation. It could just be just a bad day. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed, felt angry. Someone gave you the bird on the road to work. Got into an argument with your partner, your boss, your coworker. Give them a call. It's okay to talk. There are times in life where we're all the way up there, nothing can hurt us, nothing emotionally can harm us. And then some of those drops, even for myself, are a little bit overwhelming to handle. It's okay to talk. It's okay to talk, guys. So if you're going through a mental health crisis, please contact the national hotline 988. My second message, my last message. Break the chains that bind you. Keep moving forward in life, even if it's just baby steps. Look at yourself in the mirror and be proud of how far you made it, and show yourself the love for it. You owe it to you to not let the thoughts win. Live with conviction, and remember, it can't rain all the time. Have a wonderful night, everybody. I will be live tomorrow. Schedule is 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pacific time. Schedule is Tuesdays to Fridays. Good night, everybody.